Oh, hello, everybody. Welcome back to the show. I'm Jan Sullivan, joining my co-host Mike Deacon and Jacob London. And everybody, the time has come. We made
48
it.
hours.
48 hours, the NFL season will officially be underway. And
46,
oh my God,
46 hours. You've overstated it. It's 46 at this point.
46 hours. In less than 48 hours, the NFL season will be officially upon us. And I know all of us are excited as fuck for football to be back again. With that on the horizon, welcome to our second annual NFL predictions special. We got a bunch of them talking about playoffs, not just that, but tank bowl, hot seats, NFL honors. We're breaking all that down. But before we get into any of that, we do want to give a massive, massive shout out to the Colorado versus TCU college football game that took place over the weekend. Holy crap. Look, Deion Sanders had a lot going against him. It's his first time coaching at a major college after coaching 2 seasons at Jackson State. Everyone thought this dude was not going to be, was going to be a good coach, but like working with the roster and the schedule he had, they thought he wasn't going to be able to do it. He came out and Colorado put on a fucking clinic offensively.
Yeah, I was going to say,
offensively, y'all need to be lashed in the back of the head. Offensively, especially his son, Shedeur Sanders. Holy crap. What a performance from that kid.
He played incredibly. Did either of you actually were you able to watch it live? Like, have you watched it? Or
I did watch the game. I was watching the game as it was going on.
Yeah. So I had it on live watching it as well. And Travis Hunter, holy crap. But yeah, Sanders was fantastic. Look, defensively, they had issues. Lots of issues defensively. But the thing that's remarkable about this game specifically is unranked team and Sanders just coming in and going, I'm dragging this team kicking and screaming. And that's what he did. Now, look, it's one game. Is it overhyped to say he's going to be an NFL coach one day? I think so, because his best.
Here's the thing. You see what he did with Jackson State, where he turned that program around.
Yeah.
If he continues that success at Colorado, I don't think it's too long before Deion Sanders. I think it's like, hey, you know what? Before a franchise goes let's give Deion Sanders a shot.
Oh, here's the thing. I guarantee you there are owners right now having conversations. I will guarantee you that there is badly run organizations that are having those conversations. But my biggest problem with that is Sanders going from college to the NFL, you take away his single biggest asset, which is recruitment. Sanders is fantastic at recruitment, and you don't get that in college.
But what the big thing in terms of him potentially becoming an NFL coach is Colorado sold out their season tickets this year, which they have not done. I don't remember the exact time frame, but it's been 15, 20 years or something like that. The same thing will happen if he goes to a lower level NFL team. Immediately, that name alone will bring people into the stadium.
Yeah. I could because my honest prediction is I could see a expansion team because look, I think we're all in acknowledgement sometime in the next 10 years there's going to be an expansion. Like the NFL's expanding sometime in the next 10 years. I could see that being there. Hey, this will get us tickets. This will we'll be able to sell tickets. I could see a team doing that, and I could see him maybe doing it as well because he'll have the opportunity to recruit and have the team be fully himself as best as he can, given an NFL drafting system. But yeah, the biggest takeaway for me from that whole game was that Colorado are going to be a lot better than people were expecting this year, and it's just a great story. I think that's the
congrats to Coach Prime for already totaling the Colorado win total from last season.
Yeah,
yeah.
Not only that. So before this weekend, so betting odds before this weekend, you could get them at under 4 wins for the season. That was Vegas. Vegas had them winning under 4. and now you can't. Now at all, you can't touch that with a 10-foot pole.
Yeah. Well, and look, congrats, Coach Prime, as somebody who goes to a school who is in that same conference. I am not looking forward to that week. All right, let's get into our actual NFL prediction for the season. Starting with, look, everybody knows ultimate prize Super Bowl. But for some teams, there is going to be a greater prize on the line. That is the crashing for Caleb, who wins the Tank Bowl 2023. Now, look, we've talked ad nauseum how Arizona is currently the odds-on favorites to win the Caleb Williams sweepstakes. However, we said the same thing about Houston last year, and they fucked their own tank. So nothing's out of the question.
They were close.
So if not Arizona, because I know Arizona's all our first names. If not Arizona, who do we think is going to win?
If not Arizona, I think it's going to be Raiders, and the NFL is going to pull their hair out. The NFL is going to cry because they're going to be like, another potentially like blue chip quarterback goes to the AFC. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, I think the Raiders is not a bad choice. Houston's not going to be a good team this year because they're so young, they're so undisciplined. But Houston's a little bit of a different story. Houston's not necessarily tanking. Houston's outright rebuilding, whereas Arizona is tanking. The Raiders are a mess. So I wouldn't necessarily call, Houston might have the worst record, but they're moving in the right direction. But if you're talking purely on the record, they're a possibility. But I just don't see anyone but Arizona winning this.
Houston don't have their pick.
Right.
I
think there are teams who are like have a pretty low floor. If we're completely honest, like look at someone like Washington. I think the floor is pretty low. Vegas, their floor is pretty low. But
Washington's playing Arizona week 1. That win might take them out of it.
It might. But yeah, I mean, look, it's very easy to say Arizona for a lot of reasons, but I got no buts right now. Yeah, it's Arizona. Like if Arizona manages to, honestly, real talk, Arizona could be the very first team to go 0-17. That's how bad they're looking. Because not only do you have first-year head coach, you got no quarterback, no receivers, no line, no defense,
and your coach is a defensive coach. Like he's not like it's not like he can like putty over the fact that they don't have any real offense. No, because he's not an offensive coach. Look, Arizona are going to be the worst team in football.
Did either of you guys see the fucking his first speech to the team?
It's so bad.
Yeah.
Who took the bus?
Like, look,
what the fuck are you talking about?
Arizona is going to be the worst team in football. But I have seen we have seen this type of thing happen where a guy is awful, absolutely awful at media. He's absolutely awful at like on paper, you all go, what the hell is this coach doing? He just took his team to the Super Bowl last year.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So I don't think,
granted, a little different circumstances, but yes.
No, I know. Look, I don't think it's going to be the same thing, but like I do think Arizona is going to be the worst team in football. I do think that it's going to be very bad, but I wouldn't be honestly too shocked. The Raiders. Did you guys see the Chandler Jones story today?
Oh my God, that's terrible.
Jesus.
Like the Raiders are in trouble. The Raiders are in a lot of trouble this year. And I wouldn't be surprised if they are one of the worst teams in football. But
I think we talked about that during our power rankings. Like the Raiders, especially with that line, Jimmy G trying to throw behind it. Yeah, it could be rough.
No.
All right, so that's it for our Tank Bowl predictions. Up next, you guys feel that? It's getting a little hot in here. Or it could just be our next topic. What head coaches are on the hot seats? We're going to go conference by conference. Let's start with the NFC. I think NFC has of the coaches in the NFC, I think they have, like, on average, the least amount of job security. So I'm gonna throw out a name first because I think that this dude. Look, I think no matter what happens this year, this guy's getting fired, and that's Ron Rivera. And it's not unless Washington goes to the Super Bowl and wins, which won't happen unless they do that. Rivera's gone.
Or he'll resign. One or the other. He'll retire. He'll resign or he'll get fired.
Here's going to be the biggest problem that Washington have. Washington, even if Washington make the playoffs, which I don't think they will, but let's look. Argument's sake, the NFC is that fucking awful. It's possible. Let's say they do. I still think Ron Rivera is going to get fired because because it's not going to be Rivera. It's going to be Bieniemy. Bieniemy is going to be the one who took them there, and they're not going to want to lose Bieniemy because
that's new owner, new regime. Like he's going to want his guy at the head of this. So,
but like because here's the thing: like Bieniemy had to leave the Chiefs because everyone just said it's Mahomes, and he's riding Mahomes' coattails. If he goes and he makes Sam Howell look good, like if he makes Sam Howell look actually like Daniel Jones did last year, if he goes and if Sam Howell looks like Daniel Jones last year in a way you're just like, wow, this guy can play, Bieniemy's going to get a head coaching job next year. And if you're Washington, you're like, all right, we don't want to lose you. So that I think Rivera will lose his job this year. I will be shocked if he keeps it, because if they're good, Bieniemy's going to get the gig. And if they're bad, he'll lose it because they're bad. So he's my number one. He's been my number one for a while.
That's a good one, Mike. Anyone else we have to throw out, Mike? The NFC.
In the NFC, you got to look at Tampa. 100%.
Yeah, Todd Bowles. That's still on my list.
Yeah,
Todd Bowles is on mine.
Just because I've never been that impressed with Todd Bowles as a head coach, especially last year. I felt he made some pretty shit game time decisions last year.
Todd Bowles got the gig because it was Tom Brady who was actually coaching that team last year. That's why Todd Bowles got the gig. Like, let's be real here. The other one I think is also from the same conference as Dennis Allen.
Yeah, that's the other. I had 3 coaches from the answer written down. Then we just said all 3 because Dennis Allen, again, another guy. I've never been that impressed with his coaching prowess, and especially look, if they don't win this division, given the moves they've made, he's gone. There's no excuse for that.
Has to be. I think in the NFC, everyone else is fairly safe.
Even the ones that shouldn't be, like Mike McCarthy. I still think Mike McCarthy should be gone. He won't be.
We'll talk about that later, but I'll be like something will have. Here's the thing: something will have had to have been gone disastrous. It won't just be like like some of these coaches. They don't have to have a disastrous season, but they just have to have not a good season, and they're going to get fired. Like it's just going to be, no, we need some new blood in here anyway. If the Saints go 6 so let's go say 7-10, and they just miss the playoffs, Dennis Allen's gone. If the Falcons did the same thing, he's not like
they're fine. Yeah,
they're fine, and it's just because. They need new blood in this organization. So yeah, like I'll be a little surprised with those, and I think everyone else is fairly safe. I'll be shocked if Daboll's not getting fired. I mean the other one from the NFC personally that I think could happen, and that's if Brock Purdy is a complete abject disaster, I think at that point there is the argument.
I'm sure we'll talk more about the Niners later, but
yeah, okay, we'll get more to the Niners, but I think that is one where it's, if we're doing top 5 of conferences, he would be my 5th of like, hey, there's a possibility if Brock Purdy is an abject disaster.
Switching focus over to the AFC. I feel like most coaches here have pretty solid job security. Either because the squads are really good, or they're a good coach, or they're a new hire. For me, there are 2 names that jump out as potentially like, if this goes badly, you're gone.
One of them is jumping off the page at me.
One of them is Brandon Staley.
Yeah,
Brandon Staley.
They have to make the playoffs this year. They have to make the playoffs.
Yeah, if they make the playoffs, Staley's gone.
Yeah, I think yes, they have to win a game unless they lose to like, if they lose to like the Super Bowl winners that year or something, and it's a close game. Like it's just one of those guys. If we're in the playoffs, we're in a division with the Chiefs. Like there's only so much you can do. The other one, look. I don't know if he's going to get fired because the owner can't afford it, but that's Josh McDaniels.
That's the one thing. Like, they can't afford to fire Josh McDaniels. I don't think he's on the hot seat purely because Mark Davis is broke.
Yeah, but realistically, he should be like.
He of coaching the AFC, he should be the first one gone.
Yeah,
but I'm not sure if they can afford to do it.
Yeah. Another one who's potentially look. I think he's potentially on the hot seat. I would be shocked if he actually does at the end of the year get fired, and that's Belichick. I think we're like,
no, I can't see a world where Belichick gets fired. If he retires and goes for another team, sure. I can't see where we can getting fired.
I think but here's the thing. He wants Shula's record. And if they only win 6 games this year, then
6 games.
Sorry?
They might only win 6 games.
But that's my point. If that only happens, he might even just say, "Can I leave?"
Yep.
And it might
be.
That's
what I mean. Like I buy him leaving the team, quitting or pulling a Sean Payton, retiring and going somewhere else.
Yeah.
More than I would buy him getting fired.
Yeah. Even if he was to get fired, I'm pretty certain Kraft would call him in and say, "Hey, do you want to resign so you can maintain your," rather than having the "I fired him" kind of thing. I think just for how long he's been there and what he's been to that organization, I don't think they would ever do that to him.
Yeah. The other one for the AFC I'll throw out there is I'm not sure. I think it's on your list. Kevin Stefanski for the Browns.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
He's not on mine, but that's a good one. I think especially look, the sad part is he's going to end up being the scapegoat for if Watson sucks this year, Stefanski's going to get the blame for it, even though it's not his call. In the same vein, and I'm sorry for this, Mike, I think Salah's. There's going to be conversations. There is going to be heat.
Yeah.
If there is a real chance they start 1-6, like a real chance they start 1-6, given who they play, there will be rumblings. Now, I personally think they're going to have a really great back end of the season and it will all placated over. But we know that momentum is a huge thing in this league. And if they start not performing but on the back end, I think Salah could end up being let go.
That's the disaster scenario. I get what you're saying. I understand that completely because he hasn't had a winning season yet. If they don't have a winning season with the current roster, then there's the conversation. Yes.
Yeah. But yeah, they're my ones that I have. I like Salah's. Wouldn't be shocked, but it would be like one of the biggest.
I'd be a little shocked. Salah to me is on like the Dan Campbell trajectory where like he's making the right moves and like making progress in the right direction.
Yeah, I agree with you there. And if they make the playoffs, I think he's safe. But that one and like that start of their start of the season is rough. Like it's hard. It's a really hard start of the season. And we know how much important momentum is in this league. And if they I know they're going to play easier teams on the back, but if there's division, the New York media, Rodgers getting frustrated, Rodgers getting murdered because the O-line sucks. If all of that starts actually impacting, they can't get rid of Rodgers. They can't if Rodgers says I'm retiring, they'll get rid of Salah and as some sort of placating or something. I don't know.
All right. Speaking of which, let's talk about the actual playoffs. We're going to go division by division and then wild card to talk about who we think is going to make the dance at the end of the year. So let's starting with what many would agree is the worst division in football, the NFC South. Holy shit! What a garbage pile this division is.
You got some darts?
Look, I'm gonna start. I got the Saints. I think in theory they have the best. They've made the right moves. They have the best quarterback in the division. They are this division for me is theirs to lose.
Right now, yeah.
I 100% agree. However, I have the Falcons. I think Bijan Robinson's just going to run through the entire. He's just going to run through everything and drag that team to the playoffs.
They have an above average defense too that kind of went off the radar last year because they were in, so many tight games. Like the Falcons defense is better than people realize if Desmond Ritter, and that's a big if.
And that's
Ritter,
Desmond Ritter is the big giant question mark in this team. I think there is a question mark over all four of them. And yeah, this is very easily the worst division in football. I've got Falcons. Wouldn't be shocked if the Saints make it at all. Like Saints on paper are probably the one that should, but yeah.
I think 9 wins gets this division.
Probably.
I think 9's being nice. I think there's a real chance to 8.
Up next, let's talk about the opposite. Let's go to the NFC North. This one for me is again, I feel bad for saying it because I don't want to put that kind of expectation on them because I feel like this could very easily blow up in their face. But I got the Lions winning this one. I know I'm not the only one. I know they're the odds-on favorites. Like they got the momentum, they got the coach, they got the players, they made the right moves. I know putting expectations on the Lions is a foolish enterprise, but I'm doing it anyway. I think they're going to do it.
This is a team that's made a lot of right moves. They've, for the first time in a long time, I think they have more momentum than any of their teams. The Bears are the only other team that I think is moving the needle up, but they are so far below the other 3 teams in that division that even though they're moving in the right direction, they're still in a lower class. Green Bay could potentially be Green Bay is one of the 2 biggest crapshoots in football, I think, this season. They could go either direction. If Love does put things together, then yes, Green Bay might have a shot at it. Minnesota is like one tip from going off the iceberg. Here's
the problem. I feel like Cap is going to screw them in the future because they just signed TJ Hawkins into a big extension. They're going to reset the mark with Justin Jefferson's new contract in a while. So, and once again, the one thing they're not addressing is the fucking defense.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll hit back a little bit player-wise, yes, but they did get a very good defensive coordinator.
Who's their DC now? Oh, Brian Flores. Yeah, they should.
Yeah, Flores is their DC. Like that is the hey, we're gonna try and see if that helps, and then we'll start addressing defense because like Flores is a lot better of a DC than who they had last year. So I'm
Ed Donatel. That was a DC fucking awful.
Sorry, Flores is a head coach. He was freaking fucked over the Dolphins. He's absolutely a head coach in the league. He should be a head coach in the league. So him being a defensive coordinator, I think for the Vikings is very good. However, I do have the Vikings missing the playoffs because I've got the Packers. I think
there's just too much uncertainty around Jordan Love for me to pick the Packers.
I understand that. No, I just my big concern is the expectations on the Lions. The first time when was the last time the Lions had this level of expectations? I don't even think under Stafford they had this level of expectations. Like this is people are seriously saying they are a genuine threat for a Super Bowl. They're not. Like I'm so they're not.
I wouldn't say they're not. I say they are just because they're a team that can surprise you and can keep up.
Not with that defense. That defense is awful.
The defense, they made moves on defense to make it better. So they addressed their biggest problem. Unlike the Vikings who did nothing.
We'll see in 2 nights. But like I do think that is going to be a factor. Is the expectations is going to become a factor. I like the Packers schedule. I think they have a very nice ease you in Jordan Love schedule. And I also think there is going to be merit to the sit for 3 years. And I think that this is a very well-run organization. This is a very well-run team. I could see the Packers pull through. Again, I don't think it's going to be with any great gusto of like they come out and they're a 14-win team. I think they're going to be a 10, 11-win team and they'll win the division because I think this division's not going to be mind-blowingly good.
All right, moving on to our next division, NFC West.
Oh, this is where we're going to fight.
Yeah. Well, no. Okay. Well, Jacob, I'll let you go first this time.
It's Seahawks. I got the Seahawks winning this division.
Mike,
As
what do
I
you
said,
agree?
Brock Purdy's blowing up in their face. I really think it's going to.
Mike, what do you got?
I had the 49ers, but the Seahawks would not shock me.
Thing is, I had 49ers up until a few hours ago, and then I changed it to the Seahawks.
I have convinced you.
No, you didn't convince shit. It's part of the fact that Bosa is still undergoing his holdouts.
Yep.
The season starts in 2 days.
Yep.
That's not good.
Like I said, look, I think there is a real problem in that locker room. I really am starting to think there is a real problem in that locker room. I think Shanahan basically betting it all on Brock Purdy being Tom Brady, I think is going to blow up in their face. I could be wrong. But I do think this is going to be one of those. They don't win the division because of this. So yeah.
Look, depending on how long Bosa's holdout lasts, because like here's the thing: people throw out the TJ Watt because like he didn't sign a new contract until the beginning of literally the start of the 2021 season. Here's the difference: Watt never stepped away from the team, never stopped practicing, never like had an official holdout. He let his agents do the work, and that's why the contract negotiations lasted so long. But he never stopped working. Bosa's at a full stop.
Yeah.
Which, if he is, like the defense isn't like completely compromised, but it is a problem.
It's a huge problem. Massive problem.
And yeah, like I think Seahawks, like they made some really great moves in the drafts. I think like Geno took a big step forward. We'll see if he can keep that up. Like it's gonna depend on whether or not that season was a mirage. Was that season a mirage?
But last year, Pete Carroll reaffirmed to everyone that he is a top 10 coach in this league, if not top 5. He basically he went, "Oh yeah, no, it wasn't Russ. It was me." And I think it's just one of those, again, you're just going to start helping and proving that he is a top 5 coach in the league and that there is a reason Pete Carroll is, if it wasn't for Belichick, would probably go down as one of the best coaches currently in the league.
Yeah. Plus the fact that I'm already starting to see the cracks with the Niners start to form because George Kittle is currently questionable for week 1, which, yeah, if it's another injury-riddled Niners season, God help you.
The head coach, this is what the Niners do. They go good, bad, good, bad, good, bad.
Up next, what used to be the worst division of football, but somehow isn't anymore. NFC East. To keep in mind, this is a division that has not had a repeat winner since 2004.
Oh, it's happening this year.
Yeah, that's the thing. The last team to do it was a team I think is going to do it again this year because I can't see Philly not winning this.
They are in a league of their own in the NFC, and there's teams that if you're doing like a tier list, they're the S tier. There's no one else in the S tier. The next team at best is in the A tier. They are the best team in the NFC, and it's not even close.
The second best. So personally, I've got the Cowboys winning this. I think Cowboys are going to be the best because the Cowboys were the one team that could actually have beaten the Eagles. We know, and like we saw that last year. We saw that the Cowboys in both games took it to the Eagles, and in both of them they actually played really tough. Admittedly, Dak wasn't in one of them, and Jalen wasn't in the other one.
Exactly.
So like that is a factor, but it is one of those. These two teams know how to play each other and know how to beat each other. I am concerned for the Eagles losing both an offensive coordinator and a defensive coordinator.
Defense might be a positive.
Okay, but that is a big deal.
I think their defense got better too. Like
that's the thing. They didn't lose as many pieces as we thought they would.
No,
they added even better pieces.
No, and I completely agree with that. I don't, like I said, I've got Eagles coming 5th and getting a very free home game bye. A very free bye because they play the Falcons in week 1 of the playoffs. Like it's like this is 1 and 2, and I see them going like Cowboys 14, Eagles 13 wins. Like I concur
on that. That I think the Cowboys probably are the second best team in the NFC, Like
Yes.
our 1 and 2 are the same. It's
Yeah, like I think it's and so personally that's where I think the Cowboys are going to be. The Cowboys have a legitimate argument to have a top 3 defense, if not top 2. I think Dan Quinn is a head coach. He should be a head coach. The only reason he's not is because of the
no. We've
Sorry.
had years of evidence to prove why he should not be
He's
a
a
head
bit of a
coach.
train wreck.
Sorry, he is okay. I think he is a good head coach. It's just after the way the Falcons lost.
Did you watch the
And-
Falcons in 2020?
Yeah.
Okay, yes,
Bad.
because sorry, but after the most infamous
Loss of all time.
Super Bowl loss of all time, it's hard to rebuild your team. I think, yeah, it is very hard to come back from that, and that will forever and always be living in the back of your head with that team. And sometimes after that, you just need to blow it up and get and leave and go back to something else. I think Dan Quinn is a very talented coach, even as a defensive coordinator, but I think he's also a head coach in waiting. I do think this team is going to be very good, very hard to beat. So I've got Cowboys winning the East.
All right, moving on to our NFC wild cards. Mike, I'm going to go to you first. Who do you got for your 3 wild cards in the NFC?
Okay, so the first 2 are pretty easy: Cowboys and Seahawks. No brainers for me. The last one is tough. I don't really see the Giants or the Commanders being able to pull it off. So I do think you're looking at the North. So I'm gonna go Green Bay.
Interesting. I mean, Jacob, you already kind of blew your picks. So go ahead. Who are your 3?
Okay, all right. I blew one. I'm sorry. I've got Eagles, 49ers, and Lions.
Okay.
Interesting. All right, and I have who do I have? I have Cowboys, 49ers, and I had the Falcons. The Falcons one was one where I thought, like, I looked at their schedule. I'm like,
Schedule.
their defense isn't that bad. They have good offensive weapons. If Desmond Ridder can do it, and look at their schedule.
Their schedule is
it'd
not
be
that bad.
Yeah,
It's
they
one
got
of
they
the
got
easiest ones
they got
to
the they got the Panthers twice, the Bucks twice, then the Packers, the Texans, the Commies, the
Yeah.
Colts, the Bears, the
They
Vikings,
got
the
a
Titans.
very friendly schedule.
If you look at it, there are like 12 winnable games in there. And look, if you can win like 9, that should be enough for a 7 seed, at least.
I just love how you have 2 teams from the worst division in football.
Yeah, I know. Well, that's also like just shows how little I think of this conference. So that's,
Yeah, this conference is awful at the moment.
Bad.
yeah, this was
Genuinely awful.
conversely, though, the AFC is also just as difficult to predict, most because there's so many teams that could make the playoffs.
Yeah.
So let's start with the bottom of the barrel. Let's start with the AFC South, which I think we can all agree
It's the easy
Jacksonville's to
one.
lose.
It's the easy one.
This is the easiest one. And
Yeah,
this was
this was the easy one.
yeah.
So yeah, I don't think any of us are betting against Jacksonville, which is ironic considering that we thought so little of Jacksonville last year.
Mhm.
The closest you can maybe have is the Titans, but I don't. Even then, like it's yeah,
The Titans are just like the Vikings. They're one nudge away from falling off a cliff.
yeah.
Yeah. Moving on to the AFC West. Now, look, I am confident we are all going to say the Chiefs for a good reason. Reigning Super Bowl champs, obviously. However, and look, last year proved that without Tyreek Hill, not a whole lot is different. Here's the thing, though. This year, I think, is going to be a little tougher. I mean,
They're
not
not gonna
only
win
they
games.
lose their receiver core, not only they lose their OC, their defense is still pretty suspect. And as we mentioned on a prior show, Chris Jones is still holding out. He's saying he'll be back by week 8, but look, as somebody who dealt with this exact situation with Le'Veon Bell, Chiefs fans, don't hold your breath.
Right.
Really, do not hold your breath.
Yeah, I think. Look, this is a 90s Bulls situation where you just can't bet against them, even when even when you're like everything in the world is telling you to bet against them, you just can't. It's just until proven otherwise. Chiefs.
Like I said, if Chris Jones doesn't come back this season, that does give him a massive blow to their long-term aspirations. But I do think they'll have enough to at least win their division.
Well, we'll
Makes
talk about it in
sense.
predictions, but yeah.
Yeah, we'll talk about it later. Moving on, AFC East. Mike is your boys. I'm going to you. Actually, no, both your boys. Actually,
I think that there are 3 teams in this division that are going to have winning records, and it's just
Thankfully,
a matter
one's not the
of,
Patriots.
right, exactly. This one can go to any of the 3 of them. I'm going to lean towards Buffalo. They have the most cohesive team of the 3 right now. But if you told me it's Miami or the Jets, I'm not calling that an upset.
I've gone. So for the last month, I've been fairly confident the Bills weren't going to make the playoffs. I've been very down last month about the Bills, but no more. Bills are winning the division. I'm going full chance. I have no reason or rhyme whatsoever. Everything in the world is telling me that they are missing the playoffs and that the 13 seconds has ruined this team and they are never going to recover from 13 seconds. I know all the evidence in the world is proving it. Nope, I don't care. I'm going full chance. Bills are winning this division.
Okay. Well, going my prediction. I can't believe I got to be the card carrying member for this team, but I'm going Jets. I believe in that defense. I believe in Aaron Rodgers. I believe in the coach. I really like the Jets this year, and they're one team I'm rooting for the hardest. So, but like I said, this one's a crapshoot. How much next we're talking about? This one's a crapshoot because there are 3 teams that could convincingly win this division. Conversely, though,
Monday is a big factor in this division. Monday is a huge game for this division.
Conversely, we do have the most competitive division of football, the best division in football, the AFC North. All right, go. All right, fine. So easy, Jacob. Go ahead.
This is easily the toughest division in football.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought it's easy to predict. And it's okay.
Well, God, okay. No. This is the toughest division in football. This is I very much predict no team's going to have more than 10 wins simply based on the fact that they keep playing each other and they all split each other. Like, I think that this is going to be extremely tough. I've got the Bengals. I would not be surprised if it's anyone else, except the Browns. Browns are going to be awful.
So what I was going to say about the Browns, I was going to mention the Browns too. I think the Browns are going to be the best 4th place finisher. I think they are of all the divisions. They are going to be the best team that finishes 4th in their division. They're still finishing 4th in their division. Matt Thomas, you said they were going to win 12. I think they're going to lose 12. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and also say Cincinnati. Baltimore is going to be very competitive, and Pittsburgh is, they're not that far behind. Pittsburgh winning 1 or 2 extra games in those division matchups could put them into the wild card conversation.
All right. Well, for my prediction, I picked against Cincinnati last year because I picked Baltimore. And you know what? Something else. I did make a massive blunder in the last year's prediction, where I did say something against my team, and I do believe that cost me a playoff spot in the end. I'm not making that mistake this year. Pittsburgh all the way, winning the division, winning the North, and punching their spot in the playoffs and showing that the new dynasty of Steelers football is here, and its name is Kenny Emmanuel Pickett. I don't know if his middle name, but Kenny Pickett is going to lead this team to number 1 in the division. I made the mistake last year. I'm not doing it again. I'm looking at our AFC wild cards. I feel like we could all have like 3 different teams in these spots.
Yeah.
So there's realistically, I think there are 5 teams. Well, we have different division winners, but there's like a combination of 5 different ways to go about this. For me, it's between, based on who wins the division, the Jets, the Dolphins, the Ravens, the Steelers, and the Chargers. Those are the teams that have the realistic chances to do it. I'm going to go ahead and say it's the Jets, the Dolphins, and the Ravens.
So not even making the playoffs, huh? Okay. All right. I see how it is. Cool.
I said that they would fight for the wild card. I think that
Gone.
What
What you guys say, Jacob?
I can't believe you're going to make me do this.
Speak the truth. Speak the truth.
Fifth,
Feel
I
the
have-
power of the Steeler football.
Fifth, I have the Chargers. I think they're going to be a very good team, but the Chiefs are just the Chiefs. Sixth, I have the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Nope, too low. You're gone too. Look, anybody who doesn't have Steelers in the top 4, you a fool. I'm just gonna say that right now.
I
Too
have
low.
Pittsburgh Steelers at 6th, and I have the New York Jets sneaking in on a very impressive 10-0 run to make the playoffs.
wow.
I
Look.
think they're going to go on this like historic run, and they're going to sneak into the playoffs, and then we're all going to be like, "What the fuck?"
So you
I
have them
love
going
their
1 and
last three
6, and
games.
then we'll say I'm going 1 and 7, then winning 10 straight.
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I would go 1 and 6, and then winning 10 straight.
But that would be 10. That would be 10 and 6. Oh, that'd be 11 and 6 then.
Oh yeah, sorry, yeah, 11 and 6. Sorry, I have them 11 and 6
Okay.
overall.
Look, I would love to get bet on the Chargers because I like Herbie. That defense in theory should be really good. They got some good offensive weapons, but look, what's whenever we put expectations on this team, what always wins out? Every time you count on the team to do something, they fucking fail.
But I don't think there's expectations right now on them, other than like
You're
really.
putting them on them.
Oh, I am fair. I'm putting them 5th.
Both
But
of you.
like, he doesn't have them making it.
I didn't have them.
Oh, you didn't have to make
After
it.
the
Okay, well
Dolphins-
then just you.
Yeah,
You did this.
that's not
This is your
that's
fault.
not expectations. That's not expectations. That's just like I think you're going to make the playoffs as a wild card.
That's
And those two teams play each other this week so that we could get a sense of it because they are playing this coming Sunday.
Now for the record, for my wild card spots, I do have the Bills and the Dolphins. And as much as I don't want to give this team credit, I am going Bengals because I feel like Baltimore will be wrecked by injury once again.
Can I just wait? Did you have the Ravens?
No.
Yes,
Oh,
I
okay.
did.
Oh, you had the Ravens.
Yeah,
I did.
I was going to say because if neither of us had the Ravens, should we be putting Jim Harbaugh on the hot seat?
I don't think so.
In theory, we probably should, but I mean, look, if his team gets wrecked by injury again, then it's not really his fault. Although it kind of is because they're notorious for going way too hard in practice.
That's what. Well, at some point, there's going to be a conversation of what are you doing that's injuring all these players, like we keep saying about Shanahan and
What are you
quarterbacks.
doing to these men?
Well, sorry, I was saying that about Shanahan. People have that argument about Shanahan and his quarterbacks. What is it about your player that injures your quarterbacks every single year?
Who needs a quarterback when you have Justin Tucker?
Yeah, no, right. We need the center. You got Ezekiel Elliott.
Touche.
All right. Up next. Okay, so those are our playoff predictions. Up next, we have our NFL honors predictions, starting with comeback player of the year. So first of all, does anyone want to bet against DeMar Hamlin, the guy who literally died on the field of play and is coming back?
He's the odds-on favorite.
Until today, I was willing to, but after today, I'm not.
There's like 2 or 3 players who hypothetically, if they light the league on fire, could be considered in that conversation. Matthew Stafford's one of them. Breece Hall's one of them.
Yeah.
Players like that are coming back from serious injuries are in the conversation. But DeMar has to be the favorite.
So my argument forever and always of why DeMar was going to be because he's going to be playing week 1. The story's not going to last 18 weeks. That was my argument. The reason why I've now gone with DeMar is because my other one was going to be Tua. I was like, Tua's going to have the story. Problem is, I don't think the Dolphins are going to make the playoffs, and that's not going to be enough to get over the DeMar Hamlin story.
And does Tua play a whole season?
Yeah, does Tua survive is the question.
Well, that's the other thing. But for the last month, I had the Dolphins winning the division. That's where I was sitting, and then me going, nope. I had the Dolphins winning the division, the Jets making it in, and the Bills missing completely. And then I swapped it and went, nope. I'm going full pelt fanboy, and I put the Bills in. So Dolphins missed out, and that's me then having an impact on. Well, I guess that means Tua's not having a great year. So,
all right. Looking up to defensive rookie of the year. Going to Mike first.
Give me Will Anderson all day. I think they traded up for him for a reason. I think it was a brilliant move on their part. Yes, they gave up next year's pick. There's no Will Anderson in next year's draft. This dude's the real deal. I think he's going to win this.
What you got, Jacob?
The reason I'm not going with Will Anderson, I'm going with Carter.
I'm also going Carter.
The reason is the Eagles are going to be a good team. The Texans aren't. The Eagles are going to be a good team, and every week people are going to talk about this kid. Oh my God, the Eagles got Carter for a steal. Oh my God, how did the NFL allow this to happen? How did other teams allow this to happen? And that's going to be the story. The Anderson story is going to be one of those. Man, the Texans keep losing. Was he worth it? He's going to have that.
His numbers are going to be insane, but they're going to go off the radar.
They are, but I think because that draft pick is going to be a top 5 draft pick, that's going to weight down the conversation around it. We all know that the way that these awards are won are based on conversations. Yep. It's what is the narrative for the year, and I think that is what's going to cause the narrative.
At the same time, too, Jalen Carter was seen as being potential first overall pick. Yeah, when the Bears had the first overall pick, which as a defensive tackle, that's pretty astounding.
No, I like Jalen Carter a lot. I agree with you 100%. That
we all said if he can get his head out of his ass and actually play and give a shit about football, he's gonna be a beast. And so far, we've seen that he's doing that. So he's going to terrorize that division for a very, very, very long time. All right. Moving up to offensive rookie of the year. Jacob, I'm going to you first on this one.
Okay, there's an obvious pick, but I figured everyone else was going to pick the obvious pick, so I decided to go for a different one. So I'm going with Quentin Johnson from the Chargers.
Interesting. Oh, no expectations, huh? Okay. I see you.
Yeah, I'm taking the obvious pick. It's Steve Young.
Yeah. I figured everyone would, so I was like, fuck it, I'll have one.
I'm not going Bijan.
Oh, wow.
I decided to go with I was going between 2 receivers, and I landed on Jordan Addison.
Interesting.
Now, here's the thing. I know the logic is because Jefferson's there is going to ape his numbers. Here's the thing. I think Jefferson being there is going to help Jordan Addison because Justin Jefferson is going to draw a lot of attention from defenses, which means Jordan Addison is going to get a lot of receptions, a lot of carries. If he leads all rookies in receptions, I would not be surprised.
That's fair.
So I do think Jordan Addison is poised to have a really, really good year, as a foil to Justin Jefferson. So I think is going to only pump his numbers up.
Yeah. The only other one that I think in terms of targets could potentially be higher than Addison is Zay Flowers, because I don't trust.
He's the other one I was debating between.
On the Ravens receiving core.
I was considering him, but then I was just like, I don't have the Ravens making the playoffs, and I just think that.
Although that being said, both offensive and defensive records from the year last year, neither of them made the playoffs.
Yeah,
they were both on my team.
Yeah, they were both on Mike's team. And then what the playoffs didn't matter.
True.
All right, moving on. Defensive player of the year. Mike, starting with you on this one.
As much as I hate to pick a player from this team, I'm going Micah Parsons. I think he is on such an uphill. He is going. His stock has gone up every season, and the dude is ready to be a game wrecker. There's a couple of other players I considered, but I'm just like, he's already one of the top players in the league, and he's going to make another leap.
I debated between I debated TJ. I debated a whole bunch, and it's Micah because I think the Cowboys are going 14-3, and he is going to be a very big part of the reason why. And I still do not think they're going to give a defensive player MVP anymore. I think it's quarterbacks getting MVP for now and the rest.
Oh
of
yeah.
time.
No,
So because of that, I think that is where this will essentially be the hey, here's our acknowledgement that you got the Cowboys to where they are.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, you know who's even better than Michael Parsons? You know who's even better than Michael Parsons? TJ motherfucking Watt.
He's not going to get injured?
No, he's not going to get injured. He's going to stay healthy. He's going to break the sack record, which he currently holds. And he's going to show the world who the real best edge rusher in the NFL is. It's not racist ass Nick Bosa. It's not the overrated Michael Parsons. It is TJ motherfucking Watt. He's going to win this.
Watt. I honestly, I think I got Watt in the top 3. I just think Parsons is just, he's ready to.
And you know why it's going to be TJ Watt? Because he's motivated by charity this year.
Yep, Pat McAfee.
$500,000. That's the reason he's going to break the sack record. Does Michael Parsons care about charity? No. It's going to be TJ Watt. All right. Up next, offense. I'm not. I guess. I'm not saying Michael Parsons does not care about charity. I know he does. Regardless, TJ Watt all the way. Offensive player of the year, aka the running back / wide receiver award. This was tough this year. This one was tough.
So, Justin Jefferson seems like such an obvious answer, but teams are going to be full blown.
The thing is, when you look at offensive player of the year, nobody's won it consecutively since Marshall Faulk in the 1999 to 2001. He's the only person to ever win it in back-to-back seasons.
Right.
Yeah. And I just
the last person to win it in back-to-back seasons. And
I know that, again, it's one of those. I have a feeling playoff and win record is going to play a factor in this. It's in the conversation around it all. I'm really struggling, but I'm going to say Jamar Chase because I think
solid pick.
The Bengals are going to put up a lot of big numbers, and I think because that division's so tough, it's going to be like,
I think the problem is look. Well, the one thing you know about AFC North football is that it's fucking ugly, and it's ugly. It's very rarely high scoring, and I feel like it's going to hit Jamar's numbers a lot.
Yeah.
Mike, what do you got?
This is the toughest one, I think, out of all of the categories that we're looking at this year. It's the toughest one to forecast in that, obviously, Jefferson jumps off the page, but I think teams are going to scheme against him. Jamar Chase has the talent, but they also have so many other wide receivers they're going to be spreading the ball out to, so I don't know if his numbers are going to call for it. You could say McCaffrey potentially in the conversation, but you always know he's so volatile for injury. Kelsey, until today, probably was going to be my pick, and now we don't know what's going on with Kelsey.
Yeah, we'll talk about that later.
Yeah. So, if I'm going to give an honest answer, and I'm going to go off the page, and this is going to surprise you, I think it might be Tyreek Hill.
I also have Tyreek Hill.
Wow.
And look, I know that's really banking on the long-term health of Tua, but he also showed that in a way it kind of doesn't matter.
Right.
This dude can put up numbers regardless.
Can I throw out a really left field one that's a potential, who I also think is a potential for comeback player that I completely forgot to mention? Calvin Ridley.
Ooh, it's not bad actually.
The Jags are going to have a really good, really nice score win-loss record this year. A really nice record. And I wouldn't be surprised if Ridley is Trevor Lawrence's big target.
Could be.
Yeah, I mean, we saw that in the preseason. He looked like he hadn't missed a beat. I feel like comeback player is a very good.
That's a good choice.
It's a very good bet. Ironically, comeback player is not a bad bet.
Well, that's the other thing. Is the NFL going to give him comeback player? Hey, you got suspended. Yeah, you were suspended for a year.
I mean, they gave it to Michael Vick, so probably.
Yeah. Oh my God! Could you imagine them giving it to Deshaun Watson? Oh
my God! Oh, that would be hilarious. moving on. Good job, Jacob. Good job. Congratulations.
Broke the panel.
All right, moving on. Coach of the year. All right, Mike, what you got?
This one, I'm gonna go. I'm not going Homer, but I'm going with the heart. 4 letters. MCDC. Coach of the year this year. He's going to take the Lions to the playoffs for the first time in ages. He's by far, to me, the one who sticks out.
I second this.
Thank you, Bethany.
No, I think he checks every box that you're looking for somebody for Coach of the Year. Taking a team and elevating them to the next level. I think he's going to do that this year. Even if they only win 10, 11 games, compared to where they've been, if they make the playoffs this year, it's him.
A lot of the same arguments, but it's for Dougie Peterson.
Okay.
Ooh, Dougie P, not bad.
Yeah. Look, I might be way too high on the Jags for what they're really going to be, but I just think the Jags this year are a really solid pick.
Yeah. All right. So going to my pick, this was difficult because, MCDC is a good pick. I don't think Doug Peterson won coach of the year, so it's not a bad pick either.
Yeah.
But you know what? I'm going with a guy who's deserved it several times over. One of the best coaches of the NFL, and I feel like now this year, when the Steelers go 12-5 or 13-3, it is going to be the time when we realize Mike Tomlin was not just carried to relevance by Cowher's old squad. You're going to see that he is one of the best coaches in the NFL. And I feel like now is finally going to be his time to win Coach of the Year. I know I'm taking a lot of homer picks, but you know what? Last year, I threw out negative energy against my team, and it cost me in the end. I'm not making that mistake this year. It's Pittsburgh all the way. Tomlin, Coach of the Year.
Listen. I don't know if Tomlin wins Coach of the Year. I will say this for Tomlin. Tomlin should be a first ballot Hall of Famer.
Oh, absolutely.
That's where he's going to get his flowers. So.
Yeah. Mike,
I wanted to win at least one. That's the thing. I wanted to win at least one time.
Can we just appreciate how humble Chance is being by saying 12-5 or 13-6? He's not just going 20-0. He's just not going, oh, they're winning the Super Bowl.
If I say 17-0, it won't happen. So I'm reverse psychology. If I lowball it, they're going to overachieve. So I'm saying 12-5, 13-4. What I really mean is 17-0 and win the Super Bowl.
You're so humble, Chance.
Yep.
I mean, look, I can't help it. We're the best team in the NFL.
Oh, God.
Moving on to our final NFL Honors Award, MVP. We really are start bringing the MVP for the Nickelodeon game.
Oh, yeah. Which the Super Bowl is going to be on Nickelodeon this year, which is like,
oh my God!
Wait, is it actually on Nickelodeon? Oh my God!
I am so watching that stream.
How are they going to do that? Where they're going to have it on 2 different channels?
That's what they do when they have
games.
Yeah, but it's the Super. That's going to be weird. It's the Super Bowl. All right, anyway, whatever.
Fuck yeah. Man, because this is just a quick second. Remember when the Bears played the Saints and Mitch Trubisky won the MVP?
Well, it's Mitch Trubisky and isn't it? And Dak so far.
Dak, yeah.
And Dak in his worst game ever, and that's why. And they did it as a joke.
Well, and Mitch Trubisky too. He didn't throw a touchdown to the very last play, and they still gave it to. A bunch of fans just got together and decided to troll Mitch Trubisky on national television.
Yeah. It
was the greatest thing. It was the greatest point of civic pride I've maybe ever seen in the NFL. But moving on to the MVP. All right, going to Jacob first.
So I've tossed up between 2 people, and my other one, I think they're going to award that team with Defensive Player of the Year. So I'm not going with Dak, who I was a fringe one on. I'm going with Trevor Lawrence for the Jags.
Wow.
All right, Trevor Lawrence. I mean, it's a big step considering where Trick has gone, but I don't hate the pick. Mike, what you got?
I am going for the player who has deservedly the biggest chip on his shoulder in the NFL,
I think you're and I are on the same page.
Jalen Hurts.
Jalen Hurts.
I could see it. I very much could see it.
Look, when I saw a thing of like where his phone screen is him being sad at the Super Bowl, I'm just like, oh, like I've seen pissed off Aaron Rodgers what he can do. Pissed off Jalen Hurts, I don't want to mess with that dude.
That dude is going to go to another level. Jalen Hurts, even since college, he got replaced by Tua, had to go to another school, was not a first-round NFL pick, had to sit behind Carson fucking Wentz, and then finally got his chance. And in his second year, lit the league on fire. And, I think this year he's going to come out even more pissed off after what happened in the Super Bowl.
I could see it. Like I said, look, I could see it. I very easily could see it. I am, like I said, for the Eagles, I am worried about losing an offensive and defensive coordinators. I'm worried about them for that. I think they're going to take a little bit of a backward step, not a giant one, not like a massive, like, they're not even going to make the playoffs. I think they're going to be a very good team. I just think they're going to take a little bit of a backward step, and the Cowboys are going to become like a really good team.
Should I start getting like the Jacob eat shit clips ready now?
Yeah, do it. It's fine with that. Like, hey, I'm not gonna bag on them the way I did last year. I learned my lesson last year.
you learned last time.
All right. So yeah, I'm not gonna do that, but I still am. I don't think they're going to be the number one in the conference. I think they're going to be number 2 in the conference.
Yeah. So, like I said, Jalen Hurts, I think he's going to come out with a fire that we very rarely see from quarterback. Like I said, last time we saw a pissed off quarterback, he won MVP back-to-back times. So
yeah.
And Hurts has AJ Brown, Devonta Smith, and Dallas Goedert.
Yeah.
And just a hive of good running backs.
Yeah, exactly. So I like him so high in this one.
All right.
I get it. I think they have a tougher schedule. That's my only reason.
I'll give you that.
But I also think they have the roster to like rise up to that challenge.
The Eagles have one of, if not the most complete roster in football.
Easy.
There's no holes on that team.
Oh God, no.
All right, that's going to do it for our NFL Honor Stop. We now get to the big one, our Week 1 prediction / the return of Stunks or not Stunks.
Are we not doing the actual Super Bowl?
No, we didn't do it last year.
It's the rematch.
Okay, I thought we were predicting the actual. I thought we were predicting the actual Super Bowl as well. My bad.
It's going to be a battle of Pennsylvania. We all know that.
Look. Okay, I'm the crazy one. I got Bengals Cowboys.
You are the crazy one.
Yeah, with Bengals winning.
Ugh, that's the fucking nightmare bowl for me. You know what?
If that happens, we're Zoom calling.
I will say no. If that's Super Bowl, I'm not watching. I don't care.
No. If that's the Super Bowl, I'm flying to Arizona to watch it with you.
Oh yeah, no. Well, hey, if that's the Super Bowl, my father-in-law is a giant Cowboys fan, so like I will be forced to watch it.
Like, this will be the one Super Bowl that my lifetime that I refuse to watch. Like no, I'm not doing it. I'm saying this right here. If it is Cowboys versus Bengals, I will not watch the game, and that's a guarantee.
Not even on Nickelodeon?
No. All right. Okay. Week 1 predictions, stonks and not stonks. All right. Starting with our season kickoff Thursday night football, the Detroit Lions taking on the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, first of all, I think we can all say this is a match we would have probably taken the Chiefs in. However, things have transpired recently that make this a lot tougher. Mainly, 1, Chris Jones won't be playing, and 2, Travis Kelce might not be playing.
We don't know the extent of the Kelce injury yet.
There is a chance he could play.
Travis Kelce is the type of guy, if he can get on the field, he will. And I think if it comes down to it, like, he might even just play red zone. Like, he might just play in the 20s. But the rest of this team, these two teams are fairly evenly matched on both sides of the ball, aside from quarterback, if Kelsey is not playing. However, it's Patrick Mahomes.
I think I will be shocked if Kelsey plays. My one reasoning is even if he comes up to Andy Reid tomorrow and says, I'm 90% confident, Andy's going to sit in because it's week 1.
Right.
It's week 1, guys. You don't play for a hyperextension too. Like for a hyperextension, just rest him. It's week 1. This is a marathon. It's not a sprint. You can't afford him to go out, make it worse, and you've lost Travis Kelce for the year. They can't. Andy Reid is smart enough to know that. So I will be shocked if Travis Kelce plays. I think, look, history says Super Bowl winner, they win this game. I know last year it didn't happen, but we also saw that the Rams were a terrible team last year.
Right.
I will be shocked if the Chiefs lose this game. I think Chiefs win this. I think it's a shootout, and I think it's a very close game. But I've got Chiefs winning it by 2.
I think the Vegas over-under on this game is 54.5, and I think it's going to go over.
Take the over. Take the over on that.
Yeah.
I think this is a tough one to predict, especially look with all these recent events happening. This one got a lot tougher for me to predict. I'm getting upset. I'll ride with Detroit. Let's go, baby. Let's go. I'm riding with Detroit.
I'm going to say this: Detroit is going to come out on fire. They are probably going to score on their first possession. They are going to come out so hot in this game. It's going to come down to the fourth quarter.
Look,
this game is
with the Travis Kelce and Chris Jones news, Detroit know the time to strike is now. They're going to want to come out and going to want to make a statement.
This is going to be one of those games where if the Lions are legit, they have to win this game. If Kelce doesn't play, with Chris Jones not already playing, and again, that's a big deal because hey, when is Jared Goff his best? When he's not getting pressured, what's he not going to have? Any pressure on him. So, yes, if the Lions want to make the statement that this year they are a different Lions, this game is the one to do it. They have to do it in this game.
I agree.
All right. Now, for stunks or not stunks, I'm going to throw him out there. Jared Goff.
His numbers, if you're looking purely at numbers, if you have Jared Goff in fantasy this week, play him by all means because he's probably going to throw 3 touchdowns, 300 yards because this Chiefs defense is not that good. And this
especially in the secondary.
Yeah, it's going to be a shootout. He's got Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Yeah.
I think this rookie, Sam Laporta, might actually put up some numbers over the middle against this Chiefs defense.
Yeah, I'd go stonks. I think Jared Goff's in for a really good game. I think not having Chris Jones is a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
And I like I said, I think this is going to be like we saw with Colorado TCU, 45-42. I really think it's going to be one of those type of games where it's just, defense doesn't matter apparently. So yeah, I think we're in for a real shooter. Hey, the last time these two played, we got one of the greatest games we ever saw, but that was a 51-50. So should have been the Super Bowl, but anyway.
So we're all saying stonks on Jared Goff. I'm also saying stonks on Goff. All right. Up next, moving to our Sunday afternoon slate, starting with the battle for the NFC South. Carolina Panthers taking on the Atlanta Falcons. Bryce Young versus Desmond Ridder. Let's go. This is what we've been missing, people. This is what we've been excited for.
This is so. I'm now in Savannah, Georgia, and we get a split between the Panthers and Falcons local. I'm like, fuck, this game's gonna be one of my only options to watch. I have Red Zone, but
we're trapped.
One of the worst games to watch. But with that being said, Carolina's offensive line looks terrible, and Atlanta's going to put a lot of pressure on Bryce Young on this game. Bryce Young's probably going to throw at least 2 interceptions, I think, and Bijan is going to run wild. Bijan is going to come out of the gates like a fucking rocket. I like the Falcons in this game.
I do too. I'm also going Falcons.
Yeah, I think it's going to be the Falcons. But I'm just thinking about that. Man, a really great advertisement for Sunday Ticket would just be like having all the other great games that are on at that same time. And by the way, you get to watch Panthers Falcons. Buy Sunday Ticket for $500.
Oh, you know, or 100. You know, thanks, college.
Well, if you're a student, yeah.
All right. For this one, I'm gonna throw out the name of one. Look, this guy can go one of two ways. Kyle Pitts.
I think Pitts gets like about 4 or 5 receptions, maybe a touchdown, maybe 50 yards. So I'll say stonks because tight end is such a trash pile this year.
Yeah. Okay. See, here's the problem. Where do we like? What are you going to compare it to? Yeah. Look. Do I think Ritter's going to be great? No. Do I think that? But I mean, a good tight end is a rookie quarterback's best friend. So, I kind of agree with you there. I think it's going to be 4 or 5 receptions for about 50 yards and maybe a touchdown. If we call in that stonks, then yeah, I don't know. I don't know if that stonks, but yeah,
I'm hoping he stonks because I like Kyle Pitts and I'm tired of this team not using him.
I think
some other team's going to get him for really cheap, like really cheap.
Yeah. Up next, battle in the AFC North. We got the Cincinnati Bengals taking on Joe Burrow's arch nemesis, the Cleveland Browns.
Look, this is a tougher game than as my Super Bowl pick. I want it to be, but yeah, Joe Burrow having not played any preseason, coming off an injury. I'm going to go with the Cleveland Browns. I think the Browns win this.
For some reason, he has trouble with this team. I don't get it.
Yeah.
I'm going to go the other way. I'm going to go the Bengals. I do think that he is going to come out. He's proven, especially in the playoffs, that he can be cool, calm, and collective. And I think this is going to be a game that people are expecting him to come out in a panic. And he is going to just very calmly take control of this game. I do think Cleveland's going to put up a fight. I think because, again, any game in the AFC North, regardless of which combination of the 4 teams it is always going to be a dogfight. But I think Cincinnati is going to have too much firepower for Cleveland to keep up with.
Where is it at?
It's at Cleveland.
At Cleveland? Okay, yeah.
Purely out of hatred for Joe Burrow, I'm going the Browns. Now, for stonks or not stonks, Mr. Massage Table himself, Deshaun Watson.
Not stonks, it's all Chubb.
All right,
I will refuse. You ask every single time you ask me. I don't care who he's. He could be playing fucking Arizona for all I care. I'll be saying that all year.
Look, think with your head, Jacob. Answer with your head, not your heart, Jacob. I don't care. I don't care if you hate him in real life. Think with your head.
Nope. Can't do it.
Can have a good year.
Yeah, hopefully. I mean, probably his last year in Cleveland, if I'm being completely honest. Considering I don't think they can afford him after this. Up next, Tampa Bay Buccaneers taking on the Minnesota Vikings. Now, look, we said a lot about Minnesota being frauds last year, and most of it was justified. However, this is a chance for a really good bounce-back game.
You want to see what that defense is like?
Yeah.
I mean, this is look.
Couldn't ask for a better warm-up game.
You could. Well, here's the thing. We're going to find out. We're going to find out one of two things really quickly. Is Baker done? Because if Baker can't play against that Vikings defense, which I know I was like, hey, you've got a really talented defensive coordinator, but it's still
coordinator. Players, on the other hand, that's a different story.
Okay.
With
Chris Godwin and Mike, I don't know if Godwin's playing, but Evans is. But
I think as of right now, Godwin is playing.
Godwin is playing, I think, as of now.
Okay. If Baker can't get at least, I'd like to say at least 20 points, like at a minimum, you would think with that, then Baker's done. If he can, I think Vikings are going to win this, but I think it's going to be a bit of a shootout.
Yeah, this game does scream take the over for me because the Vikings have. I mean, it's Justin Jefferson. It's Justin fucking Jefferson. You said it. Jordan Addison's there. Hawkinson's there. The Vikings offense is going to put up some points. Now, Tampa Bay has an above average defense. They still have a decent defense, but the offense is a big question mark. But you still have Mike Evans and Chris Godwin here. And you have Rachaad White, who's actually a pretty good pass catching back, who is going to be a great safety net for Baker. So I do think this game could be more high scoring than you think. I just think that Minnesota is going to be a little bit slightly on offense, more disciplined than Tampa Bay is, and they take the game.
I'm also going Minnesota this one just because I don't trust the offense. I don't trust the Baker Mayfield-led offense anymore. Not that I ever did. I don't trust it.
Mike Evans, though, with Baker, like Baker is going to love Mike Evans. I think Mike Evans is right now.
No, he's a little punk. Got lucky once.
How many points was it in one quarter?
Shut up.
Yeah.
Get out. Speak of the devil game to me. All right. Stonks or not stonks, I'm gonna throw out a little random one for him. I'm gonna throw out Alexander Mattison.
I don't think this is his best game because Tampa Bay has a good D-line. I think he does fine, but like in the grand scheme of things, I'll put him not stonks. I think Madison's going to be good for the season, but in this particular game against that D-line, I don't think he does that great.
I'm also going not stonks.
Yeah, not stonks.
Sorry, Maddie. All right, up next, Tennessee Titans versus the New Orleans Saints. This I actually think is much a tougher game than I think most people are anticipating.
This is the most boring game of the week. Like, this is the two teams that are the most mediocre teams, like, in the NFL. This is like you're taking I'll say maybe like the 17th and 19th best team in the NFL. And that's being generous, I think.
Yeah.
And putting them against each other. That's going to be a bad game to watch.
Like,
there's nothing exciting coming out of this.
I don't think it's going to be like a bad game. Like, it's not going to be one of those games where it's just like, it's just going to be like, it's not going to be like, 3 and outs all the time, constantly. Like, it's going to be, hey, we went for, say, we played 9 snaps, then punted. We played 10 snaps, then punted. And it's just like, fucking do something. Like,
this could be one of the lowest scoring games.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm going to go. I'm going to go Saints because I'm going the better quarterback, but do I go? Who do you go? Better quarterback or better coach? I'm going Saints barely. Oh God, there's gonna be.
I got the Saints as well in something like a 17-14 type score. It's gonna be a low scoring, one of the lower scoring games of the weekend. The one like key factor, Kamara's not there. Jamal Williams might come out and like try to prove his worth as the starter. So that's one thing to watch for. I love Olave.
$4 million man, Jamal Williams.
Yeah. I love Olave in this game. And the Titans is on the same opposite side. Hopkins is going to have something to prove. So I think both of them might have Olave and Hopkins might have somewhat elevated stats in this game. I'm not saying it's for the full season, but in this game, because they both want to prove themselves for different reasons.
All right. Anyone throwing out for stonks on this game? Slant Poppy, Michael Thomas.
Oh, stonks. So this is Michael Thomas's last. Sorry, this is Michael Thomas's last year in the NFL. Easy.
All right, interesting. I'm leaning nuts. I take it back. I'm leaning stonks. I'll go slight stonks for Michael Thomas.
You will say that name to me any week. I'm putting the thumbs down.
Titans, I'm begging you, please let Vrabel go and let him go to a real team. Please, I'm begging you, and just start your full-blown rebuild because he is too good of a coach for you to ever actually do a rebuild, but you are wasting his talents.
I agree.
All right, up next, a game that I had some little personal investment in. Got the San Francisco 49ers taking on the Pittsburgh Steelers. I want to hear you. I want to hear you first, and then I'll go.
No, okay. You want to know how mad I am? because I said this 3 months ago. I have been on the Steelers winning this game 3 months ago. I've gone Steelers win this game.
I can vouch. Yes, he has been.
I have been 49ers were going to lose this game for months, and now it's like one. And because I can't bet here yet, and now it's like one of the hottest bets in the entire world is for the Steelers to win this game. And I'm just so mad about that because I have been on this for months now that the Steelers were going to win this first game. They are 49. The Steelers always get up for a first game. I think I am not buying the 49ers this year. I don't. Nick Bosa not being there is a big deal. Brock Purdy and all the off-field drama they are going to have to pay that bill. And I think it's going to be in this game. And at some point, there are going to be conversations. And I think Steelers come in and win this game. I think Brock Purdy, oh my God. I think TJ gets at least two sacks on.
Well, considering the fact that they haven't paired up against I think it's like a third round tackle, if that.
Yeah.
I was like, Brock Purdy, you're probably going to die. Mike, what you got?
Under normal circumstances, I would have had the 49ers here, but I'm kind of on the same page. I think that the momentum has shifted in this game a lot. I still think it's not going to be like a blowout by any means. I think this game will go into the fourth quarter, but at some point it's going to be mistakes on the 49ers offense that's going to cost them. I got the Steelers.
Finally, you guys are speaking English.
Hey, I like I said, I'm so annoyed by this that everyone has now started to be like, oh, a really good cheap bet this weekend is the Steelers. No, shut up. It was mine all year.
Look, normal circumstances or not, Pittsburgh will win the game regardless. Why? Because that's week one Steelers football. Doesn't matter who we're playing, we somehow find a way to win. We go into these week one games, we have no business winning, we somehow come out on top. We did it against the Bills, did it against the Bengals last year, and even with Bosa and Kittle, because Kittle might not be playing in this game, we'd still come out on top. But Bosa and Kittle not being there are, it's going to help. Not going to lie, it's going to help. Bosa, you know what? Stay gone. Get your money. Do you?
Bosa, so the Bosa one ain't getting fixed anytime soon. Bosa wants to reset the market. That's different to the Jones one. The Jones one is he wants to be at the same level as Darnold. Bosa wants to reset the market. This one's not getting fixed anytime soon.
Yeah. And as for this game, look, y'all already know everyone on the Steelers stunks. Everybody on the other team, not stunks. Doesn't matter who.
McCaffrey's gonna put numbers up.
Shut up. Not stunks.
Is McCaffrey going to get the ball though? That's the problem because TJ's just going to kill Purdy before he even gets the ball to him.
Up next, and what? Look, I know we talked about Titans versus Saints. I think this game is going to easily be the worst of the entire weekend. The Cardinals.
Oh, this is the worst.
The Commanders.
I'm not willing to say this is going to be the worst because I actually think I think Washington could actually be a decent team this year. Like not decent. Like I think Washington could actually have some decent offense in this game. Arizona's going to be bad, but Washington could actually be like, hey, that's actually somewhat exciting because Bieniemy is very good at his job.
Washington runs away with this game by double digits.
Yeah, double digits.
Yeah. If you get blown out by Washington, Arizona, liquor to the left, you're gonna need for this season. For this game, I'm gonna throw him out there. I'm gonna throw out Sam Howell.
Stonks.
It depends on what we're doing the Stonks gauge on because I think that they are gonna get a lead early enough that they're not gonna need him and they're gonna run the ball. I don't think Howell's gonna put up a big stat line. He's going to probably get a touchdown or two in the first half, and then it's going to become the Gibson and Robinson show in the second half. He'll be stonks in that he's going to win. He's going to game manage.
Yeah,
right. I will say stonks as well.
Bieniemy, I trust at this point. I think that I really think that. Yeah, if you can put money on shortest game of the week, I think it's going to be this one.
I like that.
Up next, Houston Texans taking on the Baltimore Ravens. CJ Stroud getting his first start against Baltimore, and I do feel bad for him. I really do.
If you're playing fantasy and you're streaming defenses, grab Baltimore this week.
Yeah.
Yeah. Look, I think I'm really fascinated to see what Anderson's like in this game. I think that's my biggest, okay, let's see what he's like in this game and how much pressure is he able to put on Lamar. What's Lamar like with a rookie? And if he starts getting pressured by a rookie, Ravens could be in a bit of trouble this year.
I'm going to call that Anderson gets at least one sack in this game. I think he will. I don't know if he's going to game wreck, but he's going to get at least one sack. He's going to get his highlight. However, let's take a look at the rest of the Texans team.
Oh, yeah, no.
That's the other thing. The rest of the team, different story.
Lamar is going to put up some big numbers in this game, both rushing and passing. I think you're going to see the first Zay Flowers touchdown this week. You're going to see Mark Andrews get a touchdown. You're probably going to see Baltimore is going to win this game handily.
I'm really curious where, I think this is a really good game to see. Okay, how's Lamar taking to this new offense? New offensive coordinator. Again, we're saying Zay, but Brown is there. This is
Brown's not there.
Brown's on the Cardinals. It's
Bateman.
Yeah. We're going to see how this team goes with the new offense and with, their wide receivers and how all that ends up. I'm really fascinated by, you've got a very easy team to do this against. If you struggle, what are you going to do against real teams?
So I feel this is the greatest matchup that a team like the Ravens right now could ask for their week one. I know this is not a player that Chance is going to say, but I'm going to say who I think the actual stonks player of the week in this game is going to be, and that's Roquan Smith. He might get 3 sacks. And,
poor CJ.
Sorry, CJ. Sink or swim, kid. The songs I am going to throw out for this week is going to be Odell Beckham Jr.
I don't like them because I think they're going to be up too much too early. They're going to start running the ball. Gus Edwards, J.K. Dobbins, and even Lamar. Unless Beckham gets his numbers in the first quarter, no.
Yeah,
OBJ.
I don't know. I'm just not. Odell's, again, using Odell as a number one, that's just really concerning. Yeah, no.
All right, up next, battle of the NFC North. We got Chicago desperately trying to get out from under the thumb of their former owners. Now, will the reign of terror Green Bay has enforced on Chicago continue?
Very, very sorry, Bears, but it is under new ownership, and it's still, you are still very much owned by the Packers.
I look, if Jordan Love scores a rushing touchdown, he better do the whole. Now I own you.
No, I think Love is going to be good. I don't think he's going to be Hall of Fame, but I think he's going to be very good. He'll do reasonably well in this game, and I think he'll game manage it fairly well. And I think the Bears are still in rebuild. The only thing the Bears can really hope for is that Fields doesn't throw a fourth quarter interception again.
This is my upset of the week, I think. I'm going with the Bears.
Nice.
I think the Bears are going to come out on fire. They have something to prove that, hey, it's not it was Rodgers. It's not the Packers. And, they've done enough moves in the offseason. This Bears team 100% is one of the most improved. Am I saying playoffs? No, but improved from where they were last year. 100% they are. And they have more motivation to win this game than almost any other team. I like the Bears in this one.
Yeah, I like the Bears in this one too. Now, Stonks, and you already mentioned, but the 58-minute man, Justin Fields, stonks or not stonks?
I think he's going to put numbers up.
I think he's going to put numbers, but I think he's going to have a bad fourth quarter.
Okay, it doesn't answer my question. Stonks or not stonks, Dave?
I'm saying not stonks. I'm saying not stonks.
I like Fields this week.
I'll go stonks on this one. I think Fields got something to prove. So. All right, up next, you got a rematch of Clown Bowl from last year.
Oh my God!
This is the actual worst game of the week.
Yeah, this is
for the record. The last time these two teams face off, he gave us the greatest, maybe the greatest play of last season.
1st and 10, Melvin Gordon. Oh, he's blocked by Hobbs, and there he goes. He's
Okay, yes, that's a top 5, but it's not the greatest. There are 3 plays.
Yeah, no, I meant to say one of the greatest.
The other one involves the Raiders, but it wasn't quite.
The Raiders were on the high end.
Yeah, but Raiders were on the. Actually, no, they were on the positive in that play too. Raiders versus Broncos. What do we got?
I got the Broncos all the way in this one. Like, I actually don't think this is going to be close.
I think this is going to be closer than people are expecting. Broncos win because their defense is incredible. Max Crosby against that O-line concerns me. I thought Raiders could win until the Chandler Jones news dropped today. Once that happened, I was like, oh, okay, no, they're done. They're a freaking mess of an organization. So Chandler Jones apparently is no longer going to be a Raider. We'll see if that actually happens. But that Broncos O-line is a mess and is a disaster. And I can see Max Crosby getting a couple of hits on Russell Wilson. This whole game is the Russell Wilson question. If he can't beat the Raiders, they're in trouble. Like, in a lot of trouble.
They got Javonte back, and I think Javonte is going to make a difference in this game. I don't think Denver's actually going to go full blown into him, but having him there compared to their run game last year is going to be a big difference. It sounds like Jerry Jeudy's not playing, so they're going to probably have to rely. Their receivers are not the best in this game because they're going to double cover Sutton at this point, because who else does Denver have?
No one.
But I think that the Raiders' offensive line is so bad that Denver can win this game defensively.
So, I mean, as far as stonks, not stonks, I am going to throw out the Mr. Dangerous himself. Not Russell Wilson.
Don't love the numbers in this game.
Oh, not stonks for Russell Wilson.
I saw, look, this is a less than 20-point game, I think. I think this thing. I really think there is a chance that this is a single digits for both sides game.
I can see 13. I think 13-10 is a reasonable score, or 13-9, something like that.
Yeah, because that Broncos defense is incredible,
and they traded for Will Lutz.
But then the other problem you're going to have is the Broncos are just going to have to run the ball down your throat with no O-line.
Yeah.
So I really don't know where the points come from. And we're going to start seeing this defense get more and more frustrated as the year goes on with the Broncos, because we're doing our job. Why aren't you?
All right. Up next, Philadelphia Eagles taking on the New England Patriots.
I am so excited for this game.
You just think the Patriots are going to get their asses handed to them. And for the record, I do get the mentality, but it's worth noting Jalen Hurts is another one of those quarterbacks who sat during preseason. So I feel like that could affect this game, but not by much. I look at the Eagles winning this pretty handedly.
I don't think it's going to be handedly. This is a potential upset for me. Potential. I don't think it's going to happen. I think it's a potential upset. The reason I'm saying that is Jalen Hurts didn't play during the offseason. Patriots have a top 5 defense.
Top five's pricey.
Patriots have a very good defense. Sorry,
They're a
like,
very good defense. I don't know if
Good.
I
The
go
top
but they're
five is
very good.
pricey.
you know, and look, yes, offensively, I think they're in a lot of trouble. But I think that because of the defense, Jalen Hurts is going to be a little rusty, coming off the Super Bowl hangover. I think there is going to be an element of this game they'll sneak away with.
I'm going to make a bold prediction here. The Philadelphia Eagles score 2 defensive touchdowns in this game. They are going to put so much pressure on Mac Jones. That receiver core is not that good.
Yeah.
And this game is screaming to me for the Eagles to just devour them on defense.
All right. Well, stonks for this one. I'm gonna throw out. Trying to pick an Eagles. Okay, DeAndre Swift.
That's tough because their committee status right now, like this is like the committee of all committees, I think. And picking which one of the 3 is going to be, well, even 4, I guess it's 4 technically if you count Boston Scott. Which one of the 4 this early in the season is tough. I don't think any of them are going to put up major numbers, so I'll say not. It's committee, so.
Yeah, I say not.
All right, not stunks. All right, up next, rematch from a game we had last year. Tua versus Herbie. Miami Dolphins taking on the Los Angeles Chargers.
I am excited for this one. I think this is going to be a fun game to watch.
I had tickets to this game, but we just can't make it.
Oh, really? Damn.
Yeah, we had tickets, but we're in LA the weekend after as well, so we just can't. We can't afford to go to both, both weekends. So yeah, we're missing this week this game. To save my sanity, I'm going to say the Dolphins, because if the Chargers win this game and we didn't go, I'm never going to hear the end of it. So, to save my sanity, I'm going to say Dolphins.
I also have the Dolphins. The reason being that right now they are healthy. I think with their defense and their Tyreek and Waddle is lethal. So I just don't see the Chargers stopping them. This can be a high scoring game though. I think the Dolphins are able to put up 1 or 2 more stops than the Chargers are, but Hill and Waddle, yeah, I got Miami on this one.
I'm also taking Miami on this one. That's because I don't trust the Chargers defense, even with J.C. Jackson back. For this one, I'm going to throw out Quentin Johnson.
I think he's good.
I'm going to say not just because it's the first game. They're still going to be looking to Keenan Allen and Mike Williams. I don't know how many targets he gets.
I'm also saying not time for Quentin Johnson this one game.
For this one game. As the season goes on, that's another story, but this one game.
As far as the other LA child, we got the Los Angeles Rams going up to Seattle, take on the Seahawks.
If Cooper Kupp is not playing, this is all Seahawks.
Oh, I did not know that Kupp wasn't playing. Yeah, no, the Seahawks.
He's a question mark.
He's questionable.
Oh, yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, no, Seahawks are murdering them. Like I said, look, I think the Rams might start the season okay and then go, nope, full-blown rebuild, fire sales, sell everything.
Yeah.
I think they keep this one close, but Seahawks win it.
Yeah, it's close, but I do also have Seahawks taking this one. I'm going to throw out for stonks the guy who has trouble kicking to the youth, Matt Stafford.
That dude always, regardless of what he has, if he's on the field, manages to make something happen. I don't think they win the game, but I think he plays fine. So very slightly, like if you're talking the line or stonks versus not stonks, just above. Yeah.
Light stonks. All right. And up next, Sunday Night Football. And a team that I am tired of seeing open the season on Sunday Night Football. Seriously, get anybody else.
I mean, they had Tom Brady.
Anybody else.
Had Aaron Rodgers
do it the New York Giants.
Years ago. Had Aaron Rodgers do it a couple years ago.
Yeah, it's Aaron Rodgers. I'll give that a pass. This is Cowboys versus Jets. I'd be all over it because Aaron Rodgers beating the Cowboys is one of my favorite things to watch.
Well,
that's week 2.
That's It's week 2, and I'm excited for that one. But yeah, so Dallas Cowboys, New York Giants. Pains me to say it, but I'm taking the Cowboys.
Yeah, it's Cowboys.
It's the Cowboys. If the Cowboys lose this game, Cowboys lose this game, the Mike McCarthy calls start this early. They'll start this early. If they, this is going to be the real test of, okay, how good are you? There's no excuses anymore. There is they've always had an excuse for, they've always even though we don't believe the excuses, but they've always come up with one. There isn't an excuse anymore. Is Dak the guy, and is Mike McCarthy the coach? They are the 2 question marks over the Cowboys this year, and both of them have to prove it this year. Now, I think they will, but
all right. And Stonks for this one, are we getting Danny Dimes or Danny Derps?
Danny Derps. That
Yeah,
defense.
I think it's Derps. I'm going to throw out a bold prediction, though. I think there is a chance in this one for this week. After week 1, CD Lamb might lead the league in receiving after this game.
We've got to turn him a lot, so I can see it.
Yeah, I could see it. I could see it. I think there's going to be 3 sacks on Daniel Jones. I think he's going to get
only 3. I think you might be talking 5.
Yeah.
How many fumbles? How many fumbles does Danny Derps have?
Just one. I think he just won.
Yeah, he's stopped the fumbles a little bit. So I just think that defense is so fucking good that
Parsons gets 2 of those sacks.
Oh, easy.
Yeah.
All right, and last game, Monday Night Football. Jacob Buffalo Bills taking on Mike's New York Jets.
Game of the week right here.
Oh, easy. Game of the week.
100%.
Game of the look. This is the game that has the single most amount of question marks over both teams. Has the offseason from hell for the Bills actually impacted them? And is that organization splintered, or is it still okay? The Jets. Is Aaron Rodgers MVP level again, or is he still like he was last year? How bad is that O-line?
Mm-hmm.
The O-line question is the big one. I've got the Bills winning this in a shootout, very close, and I wouldn't be surprised if they lose it.
This is a last possession type of game to me, I think. This is who gets the ball last. Someone's winning this game by 3 points or less.
Yeah.
And it's very, very difficult to say. The one and only reason, and I usually do not go homer on these kind of things, it is 9/11, and it is a home game.
I'll give you that. I will no, and that it's fair. Also,
9/11.
No, okay, that legit. The other thing, what was the last Monday Night Football game that the Bills played? That's going to get brought up. That's going to get to the last time we were on Monday Night Football, DeMar Hamlin wasn't breathing. That's going to get brought up, and that's going to be a thing. So I could very much see that. But yeah,
it's going to be close.
It's going to be a real close game.
This is any game.
Yeah, this is going to be a real close game, and it's going to kind of set the tone for for both teams' seasons. I hesitate to call a week 1 game a must win, but it's one of those games where
it's a momentum builder.
Yeah, if the Jets win it, they go into next week with huge momentum and going into the Cowboys going, we can beat them, especially with Aaron Rodgers. If they lose it, they're going into the Cowboys next week with this huge weight of, we have to win this, otherwise the Patriots becomes a must win. And you haven't beaten the Patriots in 10 years.
Oh, I think that one is one of the few ones that you and I disagree on. We'll get to that in week 3.
Yeah, we'll get to that in 3 weeks. But I do think that this is such an important week, because even the Bills, if they lose this game, next week is the next week we play the Raiders.
We
should win that. Yeah. We should. If we look bad this week, who knows? We're on a short week, and it's like we go Monday night to playing the 10 a.m. games. So, yeah.
All right, and well, since I'm the tiebreaker here, I'm leaning toward the Jets. Sorry, I'm leaning toward the Jets. And for stonks and not stonking this week, I'm throwing out the receiver of discontent, Stephon Diggs.
If the Bills are going to
Two words. Sauce Gardner.
That's my thing.
Yeah, look, if the Bills are going to win, Diggs has to show I'm still a top 5 receiver in football. And I think he can do it, and I think he will do it. So I'm saying stonks, but I understand and I think it's going to be, look, second year syndrome is a thing. I'm very interested to see what happens with Sauce in his first game in his second year.
He's got a challenge. I mean, that's a legitimate challenge.
That is,
for week 1.
and that is also one of those things of the NFL were not kind to the Jets or the Bills in having this be the first game of the season, because it's one of those, all right, where are you really, Gaines? Because if Diggs burns Sauce 3 or 4 times, that could destroy his season. Like, that's going to sit with him all season, especially then next week with CeeDee Lamb, and then,
right, then Juju. But
no, I know, but the opposite. If he gets 2 interceptions and Diggs looks awful, what the hell? Like, what, next week we go against the Raiders? Diggs is going to have no confidence, and this whole splintering is going to get worse. Like, this is the NFL did no favors to either team here. So yeah, it's huge.
They also know that this is like one of the highest ratings games they could have possibly picked.
Oh God, I understand why they did it. I just hate them for it.
The Monday Night Football ratings are going to be skyrocketing this week. So yeah.
I'm saying stonks, though. I am saying stonks. I think he can, but I understand if you both say no.
I think Diggs is going to be right at the line. I think Diggs is going to, because they're going to do a lot of slant plays to him where he's going to get the ball before Gardner can even get to him, and he's going to get like 10 yards because they're doing it. He's getting behind the line of scrimmage, and Diggs is just that fast. Diggs is going to get like 8 or 9 catches for like 70 yards. I just don't know if you call that stonks or not.
I'm going not stonks on Diggs just because I feel like he's going to draw a lot of Sauce attention. I feel like Sauce is going to want to just like body him.
I got it.
And that's going to do it for the show tonight. So, Jacob, plug your way up.
You guys can find me pretty much everywhere at Jacob London on Twitter, everywhere. Tomorrow night, embarrassing myself on public television. So, yeah.
Speaking of that, tomorrow night, both of these gentlemen will be joining What the Show for our annual fantasy football draft. For the first time ever, it is a super flex league this year. 14 teams. Chance is picking 5th. Jacob is picking 10th. I am picking 4th. We are going to have a lot of fun with this. It is going to be the most shit talk you're going to see on any stream all year. We're going to have a ton of fun. Join us tomorrow night, 10 Eastern time. Well, we're going on the air at 9:45 Eastern. The draft starts at 10.
If I miss one, I'll give a chance. We'll _91. Check out Enjoy by Chance, the podcast. Our episode on Titanic just dropped, and this month, our Direct-Timber, our subject is the one, the only Mr. Clint Eastwood. So a lot of movies to choose from. We did narrow down to 4, so we're going to be talking about Eastwood all month long. And subscribe to this channel. We are happy to bring back another full season of Left Side Strong Side. Got a whole slew of awesome guests to come talk football with us. And we can't wait. We cannot wait for this NFL season. Thank you for watching, and we will see you next week to talk about the first week of NFL football.